The first time that I was invited to the studio school was in a conversation with David Cohen. And it was a conversation with critics, but he bent the category a bit to invite an art historian. I don't think those are two different things. Art historians have to be critics, but anyhow, that was the thing. I think it was on that occasion that I threw out something I'd already written and published, so I had it in my mind, that I thought one could define art as skillful performance in a medium. I mean, I think drawing is, to speak to the studio school, a useful skill to have, even if you're not going to use it every day in every work you make.
I do not have assistant. I work alone. My studio, every single work is done by my own hand. I do not have assistant. Even I frame my work myself. But Jean-Claude was that is probably the things all the time I miss. Like even when we have things to discuss in the office, I always say, what Jean-Claude will say. And our offices were full with her writing, or her memo, everything, everything. And she was have a great common sense and was very capable to be realistic in the same way, to be absolutely unpredictable emotionally, what way of something is not working our way.
The fiction of my writing has been that I can give an account of the making of art. I'm much more on the maker's side than I am on the viewer's side. I'm not a consumer person, a consumer of art person in that way, in my account. The fiction is that I can in some way explain or explicate the making of it itself.
But this is the long tradition in history of art. For 1,000 years, the artists used the fabric. Of course, not real cloth, was done on marble, wood, bronze, and you can recognize the style of this period of art by how the folds they sculpted in the sculpture. And medieval art, the folds they're much more angular, geometric. When in the Renaissance, Michelangelo, Bernini, the folds they're much more roundish, flamboyant. But the best things what the fabric do in history of art, and this is not my invention, is the case of French sculptor Rodin. It's a true story. Rodin did two versions of the figure of Balzac. Balzac was totally naked, big belly, skinny legs, and many details. What Rodin did, they take the cape of Balzac, cloth cape of Balzac, put it in a liquid plaster, and today we have the famous figure of Balzac in Boulevard Raspail in Paris, in Museum of Modern Art in New York. Basically, he hides all the details in the body of Balzac, he highlights principal proportion of the figure of Balzac.
It's the interest of looking that has been, that I now see, looking back and looking at my life, that's been at the center of what I did. I began actually by studying literature and took a degree in literature. And the great discovery was that I didn't want to read texts, although I knew how to do that very well. And that's a portable skill. It's a skill of attending and interpreting. And in the latter part of my time at university, I took a course in art history, and suddenly that all opened up. And the interest for me then was that you are dealing with something material and something you see not made in words. And the problem then becomes, how can you match words to something that is not verbal? And that difference has been central to and important and gripping in my interest in what I've done.
Art world is a very small community. It's a club of collectors, museums, critics, dealers, extremely small. Our project, we met so many people, incredible variety of people, from elected congressmen, senator, to generals, army, Japanese rice field farmer, cowboy ranchers, and engineers, railroads people, and all kind of people that artists never met. And all that incredible mixture of human relation is so exciting, so rewarding. And of course, we love that. It's not bureaucratic horror. is really the energy of our project. For normal artists who work in his studio, her studio, probably for us it's totally inconceivable. But this is why we keep our excitement.
It's very difficult, and it takes huge subtlety to be true as someone writing, to be true to the painting you're writing about, as well as to the world in which it was made. Because they are the makers of the world that they paint. So for them, it's all from within inside. This is, again, my attempt to give an account, a fiction, it's a fiction, of the painter as maker. And I think I'm not in sympathy with historians who are people writing about art. I mean, it just doesn't interest me. You can do it. It's an open thing. I'm not making rules. But I am less interested in studies which attempt to talk about, as their major problem, the relationship between the art and its context.
All our projects, they're first important, they're designed for particular season of the year. They're the season project, meaning that the Gates project was the winter project because we like to have a leafless street. To the leafless street, you can see the gates. During the summertime, Central Park is like a forest, you cannot see it any far. While the surrounded island, the project at Miami in the southern Florida in 1983 was spring project before the hurricane. And Miami came in the summertime and the autumn. And over the river project is this summer project because we like to have the rafters. To experience the project or to visually live with the project, we take you 1.5 hours driving and 42 miles to see the project from above. And we take about 4.5 hours to raft inside the project. The project will be above you from minimum 28 feet, 96 inches minimum, to sometime 4 or 5 feet if the banks of the river are higher.
In the study of art, the default of art historians has tended in our time to be iconography, to be the meaning. And the new meaning became social and social history. And that means that the object itself gets shortchanged. That's the danger, in the name of the meaning. And it seems to me artists are making art, they're not making meaning. And art historians are the ones who look for meaning. And that's just not my way. Fine, but it's not my way.
All these projects, they are very absurd. They're totally unnecessary. The world can live without valley curtain, without running fence, without surrounded island. They're totally useless, absolutely not necessary. They're gratuitous. Nobody can buy them. Nobody can own them. Nobody can charge tickets. Even myself, Jean-Claude, we don't own them. They have this enormous, irrational presence of something totally unnecessary and a lot of humor that way. And this is why they have this, this is very important, and our decision to not repeat it, because this has that uniqueness. That would be stupid to have another Gates, another park, surrounded another islands. No, they have this. In the end of the 20th century, early 21st century, we're bombarded with banal, repetitious things. Same things again, same big blockbuster exhibition, big skyscraper, big bridges. We not to present something never happened again.